Some may think that following Christ means abandoning our personal identity or individuality. But in reality, Christ's teachings are all about empowering us to become the best version of ourselves. We're encouraged to use our unique gifts and talents to make a positive impact in the world. Others may struggle with the idea that following Christ means being part of a specific denomination or church group. But the truth is, following Christ is about having a personal relationship with Him, regardless of what church or group we belong to. Being a follower of Christ is a topic that's incredibly relevant and important in today's world. In a society where we're constantly bombarded with conflicting values and ideologies, it's easy to get lost in the noise and wonder what it truly means to live a life that's rooted in faith. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about following Christ is that it's all about rules and regulations. They think it's about following a set of do's and don'ts, and that if you mess up, you're somehow less of a Christian. But the truth is, being a follower of Christ is about so much more than that. It's about having a personal relationship with God, and allowing that relationship to transform every aspect of your life. Another challenge people face is the idea that they have to be perfect in order to be a follower of Christ. They think they have to have it all together, that they have to be this perfect, sinless person in order to be worthy of God's love. But the reality is, we're all imperfect, and it's in those imperfections that we're able to experience God's grace and mercy. Many people also struggle with the idea of surrendering control to a higher power. They think that if they give their lives to Christ, they'll somehow lose their autonomy and freedom. But the truth is, surrendering to God is actually the most liberating thing you can do. It's about recognizing that you're not in control, and that God has a plan that's so much bigger and better than anything you could ever imagine. And then there are those who think that following Christ is just about going to church on Sundays and checking off a box on their to-do list. But being a follower of Christ is about so much more than that. It's about living a life that's marked by love, compassion, and service to others. Some may think that following Christ means abandoning our personal identity or individuality. But in reality, Christ's teachings are all about empowering us to become the best version of ourselves. We're encouraged to use our unique gifts and talents to make a positive impact in the world. Others may struggle with the idea that following Christ means being part of a specific denomination or church group. But the truth is, following Christ is about having a personal relationship with Him, regardless of what church or group we belong to. Others may think that following Christ means giving up certain pleasures or desires. But the truth is, Christ came to give us life in abundance, not to take away from us. When we follow Him, we experience a sense of joy, peace, and fulfillment that goes far beyond any earthly pleasure. When I think about what it means to follow Christ, I'm reminded of the many ways He has influenced my own life. From the way I interact with others, to the way I make decisions, to the way I view myself and the world around me, Christ's teachings have had a profound impact on me. His teachings have taught me to love unconditionally, to forgive freely, and to see the beauty in every person and every situation. One of the most powerful experiences I've had as a follower of Christ was when I went on a mission trip to a poverty-stricken area. Seeing the faith and resilience of the people I met was life-changing. Despite having so little, they had a sense of joy and gratitude that I had never seen before. It was a powerful reminder that following Christ isn't just about what we do, but about who we are, and that our identity is rooted in Him, not in our circumstances. As I reflect on my own journey of following Christ, I'm reminded of the countless times I've experienced His love and guidance in my life. From the darkest moments of doubt and fear, to the brightest moments of joy and celebration, Christ has been with me every step of the way. And I'm grateful for that. Following Christ is a journey, not a destination. It's a journey of discovery, of growth, of transformation. It's a journey that requires us to be vulnerable, to be humble, and to be willing to take risks. But it's a journey that's worth it, because in the end, it's a journey that leads us to the very heart of God. For me, following Christ is about having a daily conversation with God, seeking guidance and wisdom in every decision I make. It's about recognizing that I'm not perfect, and that I need God's help to navigate the ups and downs of life. It's about being part of a community of believers who support and encourage me on my journey. One of the most transformative experiences I've had as a follower of Christ is seeing God's power at work in my life. It's about experiencing miracles, big and small, and recognizing that God is always at work, even when I can't see it. It's about having a sense of peace and hope, even in the darkest of times. I remember a time when I was going through a really tough season in my life. I was struggling with anxiety and depression, and I felt like I was at rock bottom. But in that moment, I felt God's presence in a way that I never had before. I felt His peace, His comfort, and His love. And in that moment, I knew that I wasn't alone, and that God was with me, even in the darkest of times. As I look back on my journey as a follower of Christ, I'm reminded that it's not about being perfect, it's about being faithful. It's about showing up every day and saying yes to God, even when it's hard. It's about trusting that He has a plan, and that He's working everything out for my good. In conclusion, being a follower of Christ is a journey, not a destination. It's about embracing the ups and downs of life, and trusting that God is always at work, even when we can't see it. If you're watching this video, I want to invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What does it mean to you to be a follower of Christ? How has your faith journey impacted your life? And if you're interested in learning more about this topic, be sure to check out my other video on the power of prayer. Thanks for watching.